Hi there, this is Save with Crypto, wishing you all a happy Sunday. Day of rest and day of markets not being open. That's traditional markets, of course. Crypto markets are always open. Now, this article caught my eye this morning because it was saying prominent Tesla investor compares Bitcoin to cockroach, and I was thinking, oh, it doesn't sound very nice, because cockroaches are like horrible things, aren't they? They just look like they're I don't know, just all wrong to me. But anyway, but it's actually a positive one. It's this guy, Ross Gerber, a prominent Tesla investor, who described Bitcoin as being like a cockroach in the way that it always comes back. It's resilient, and despite what happens to it, you can't get rid of it, so Bitcoin's coming back. And indeed, as we've seen in January, it's kind of increased so much that it's kind of wiped out all the effects of the FTX drop, and we're kind of back on track to going up. Or are we? That's the question. Well, the answer to that is I don't know, but also the answer is probably. Just looks like we're in an uptrend now. Bit of consolidation, and hopefully off we go up. Now, there are a few things to watch out for. One is the CME gap we left on Friday night, 22,394, that is. You can always check that by going to cmegroup.com. And then once you're there, if you just go to the search thing here, put in BTC, and then you usually end up at this Bitcoin overview here, and there you are. So you can see the price it was on Friday night. And what has been happening in the past, although it didn't happen last week, is that the price tends to return to that price on Monday or early in the following week. So that's 22,390. Okay, so that's why I put this this line here, CME gap. Now, the one from the week before is actually right down here at 19,825. If it goes down, it could go a long way down, fill both of them in. But recently, I don't know, it seems to have a mind of its own. That might be not something to go on. Now, how does this relate to the trade that we've got open with the $200 challenge? Well, it's going all right, actually. So if you look here, this is the one we opened. When was it now? It was the 18th of January. And I think what I did a couple of entries there within the space of a few hours just to try and get the best possible position. And indeed, the entry there was 21,129, which is great. So at the moment, we're looking at a 77% increase, which means that one is actually over $1,000 in profit right now. Now, if you look at the assets overall, you can see that this account started off with $200 on January the 2nd, and it's currently worth $2,429, which I think is pretty good. Now, yesterday, a lot of people joined the free Telegram group, which you can get to by going to savewith.crypto.org/TG. A lot of people joined the Telegram group, and they're probably quite disappointed because we're in the middle of a trade, and they haven't got an easy entry there. Now, if we look at the 1 hour time frame on TradingView, you can see that back on the 18th, the reason I went longer there was because I saw this candlestick drop out of the bottom of the VWAP. Okay, so that was the reason I did, because I saw this bit here, and that doesn't happen very often. It happened here as well. Now, this wasn't quite so good initially because the price went down shortly afterwards, but obviously, the rest is history, really. And you can see this indicator was really good. So look, here's another one here, just dropped out there, and then it went up again. Okay, and then it did one here. This was when was that? That was early this morning. So even that one there. Okay, so say you'd have gone long here, even to where we are now, that's still up 1%. So on 10x leverage, 10%. So this is a really cool indicator. Now, to get this indicator, the indicator is free. However, TradingView free plan won't give you this indicator, and you get it for free by going to savewithcrypto.org/TV. But I would suggest that you upgrade it just to the first paid plan, because it works out pretty cheap. What normally happens is you get $30 off with my link if you pay annually, And then when it gets to Black Friday, you'll have the option to extend your subscription quite cheaply, normally with like a 60% discount. So I think for me it works out like $15 a month or something along those lines. It's very cheap anyway. But and you get cool indicators to play with like this one. Also the MACD as well, which is another favourite of mine. But yeah, so at the moment, what I'd probably say is it might be worth setting a couple of limit orders, and even 3 actually. So what I'd probably do is I'd probably set one at something like 22,710, 22,680, and then just in case it comes back to the CME gap, have 22,390. Now, what I tend to do is, because you go to sleep on Sunday night and you're never quite sure what's going to happen, so I'd make sure that 22,708, I'd make sure that the leverage you're using is okay if it goes right down here. And in ByBit, there's a cool little tool you can use for that. Okay, so if you go to derivatives, inverse contracts, that's what we're using. We're using Bitcoin USD on inverse perpetual contracts. That means that the base currency you're using is Bitcoin. You're obviously looking at the dollar value, but so you basically trade Bitcoin and you get back Bitcoin. That's the plan. I think that's a better thing to do when you think that the asset you're trading in is going to go up. In a bear market, like in a bad bear market where everything's going down, I would probably trade BTC USDT. That's this one here. That's a USDT perpetual. I'd probably trade that because the underlying asset you're hanging on to, you want that to be the one that isn't going down in value. But at the moment, I think Bitcoin's going up in value, which is why I'm using inverse perpetual BTC USD. Okay, right. So when you're in here, if you come up here, there's a little calculator thing here, and you can go to liquidation price. Okay, you can put in any quantity you want. It doesn't really matter for this exercise. But let's say that we're going to go in with an entry price of 22,710. But we don't want to get liquidated before 22,383. Okay, so let's say 22,718. Okay, so the entry price is 22,718. Okay, so your liquidation price with no leverage, like 1x leverage, would be $11,000. Okay, so you can afford to push this up to, well, let's even say where that second gap was, second CME gap was. So that was 19,825. Okay, so 19,825. So that's well above that. So you could use 5x leverage quite safely. You could even go up to like 7x leverage. It's getting a bit close by then. But the idea is, what I tend to do, and I don't know if it's the best idea, it's probably not, but I tend to use, say I've got 3 entries, I'll have the top one using about 25% of the capital, the second one using another 25% of the capital, then the bottom one using the rest of it. Obviously, this is just the capital you're trading with. This is not your whole stash. Don't ever bet your whole stash on a trade, because if you do lose it all, you'll be very sad, and you won't be able to go out to play the next day because you won't have any money. But at the moment, it does look like we're going to go up. Now, what I'm always tempted to do is to take a bit of profit and then put that back in the trade if you see a pullback. Now, every time I do that, the entry price will go up, obviously, because you're putting money back into the trade. And on average, that will move your price up. And that takes away the kind of comfort I've got by knowing that the liquidation price here is 19,303, which is a long way away. And it also means that I can set the stop loss in profit, which is what I've done here. You can see here that the stop loss is set at 22,235. So that's $500 away. And you can see the profit that would give. So, if everything went tits up and the price went right down, I would still make 50%, which would be 0.02 Bitcoin. 0.03 actually, which is a few $100, isn't it? That's what would happen if it went south. But at the moment, I think it's going to go up. And part of the reason for that is this indicator down here. This is the MACD, moving average convergence divergence. And you can see here, this has been negative, been going red and pink for quite a while. this looks to me like it's going to go green soon, and usually when it goes green like it did here, you see a pump. So I don't know, I'm expecting a bit of a lively Monday, to be honest. So if that happens, it'll be great, wouldn't it? So there you go. Anyway, if you're trading on ByBit, I'd love it if you use my link, which you can get to by going to savewith.crypto.org/ByBit. No idea what the bonuses are at the moment, but they're usually like anything from like, you know, $10 to like $30,000. I've certainly had a few $100 off ByBit over the years. So it's well worth using that. So that's savewithcrypto.org/ByBit. That redirects to my affiliate link. And TradingView, I think TradingView is essential if you're serious about trading. So you can get your $30 off by going to savewithcrypto.org/TV. Okay, right, I'll leave it there for the time being because I've been rambling on far too long. But yeah, do join the Telegram group if you're not in there already, savewithcrypto.org/TG. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll probably make another video later on today. If not, it'll definitely be first thing tomorrow morning. All right, take care, and above all, tell your friends.